You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? It's your girl, your diva in knowledge, Miss Mocha. Hope everybody's doing okay, y'all. It's been so hectic trying to balance and juggle my business in addition to doing the vlogging and everything, y'all. But I appreciate everybody for still being dedicated, still being loyal followers and subscribers to Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Nevertheless, I also have my second co-ed channel, Mocha's Cafe de Paris. Make sure you also subscribe over there. That is my co-ed channel for men and women. So y'all, I just don't see how y'all are doing the Love and Marriage Huntsville. I really don't see how y'all are doing it. I mean, the show is in hospice at this point. It's past beyond life support. The show is definitely in the making of a funeral. It's in hospice. Okay, the show is in hospice. I really don't understand, why the content creators are giving love and lost and tragic in Snoozeville any type of recognition, any type of, attention at all, because it's just not worth the agony. And nevertheless, I did view it on YouTube. I definitely was not going to view it on OWN. I was not going to increase any views. Of course, as y'all don't know me by now, I ride hard for male. I really, really do. And I just really think that anybody that's given this show any type of recognition, any type of platform, is kind of like a slap in the face to her. However, I do get it. The truth is, as many people that claim to ride for male, they want to know what's going on in that show with her absence, because a lot of things are starting to unfold. Like we said, snakes eventually will start to devour each other, because we know they always made males situation as the punchline. That the show has always centered around what Melody and Martell was going through. So it should have been really love in Huntsville. It's all about male, because basically that was all the show centered around. And because people didn't want to be transparent about their own personal problems. And of course, we could thank Carlos King for that, for selective, giving the cast the privilege of selective transparency, where folks are able to pick and choose what they want to discuss and what not discuss. And we know that Mel's situation and the events transpiring her former marriage to Martell, that seemed to be the only situation that was resuscitating the show, bringing life to the show. Because as we all know, Tisha and Marceau brings nothing. Kimmy the Frog and Maurice brings nothing. Trish and Ken and her baby daddy, they bring nothing. Nell and the Fletchers, I just, listen, y'all, I'm having a hard time getting into this show. I'd rather be getting a pap smear. That's how over it I am. I'd rather go to my pap smear appointment. There's no excitement in this. How y'all stand to watch it every episode and not get bored to death, I cannot take it. But the truth is, people want to know what's going on, right? It's like watching a car accident, a fatal car accident. You don't want to see, the dead bodies, or the fatal injuries. You don't want to see it, but you can't help but to be curious and wonder. We all do it. You're driving past a gruesome crime scene, and good damn well you don't want to see any dead bodies, but it's that part of you that is still curious and really kind of want to know. So you drive by slowly, even though you psych yourself out like you don't care, you don't want to know, but it's a part of you that kind of wants to know. And I think that's what's going on with the lost and tragic giving Snoozeville, because people want to know, are things going to unfold just like we predicted that they would once Mel departed. And a lot of people said the views are going to drop, and it is doing that. A lot of people said that the snakes are going to start turning on each other, and they are doing that. Everybody said they're going to try to, well, a few, just listen to different content creators, that they're going to try to integrate air mattress into the show in some form or another. And they are trying to do that. But needless to say, the show really needs to go. If they get another season after this, I would really be surprised, because it's not giving anything. Listen, I had to really go into prayer to watch this last episode, because like I said, I'm definitely a fan of Mel. I buy all of her products. I fucks, F-U-X-X. I fox, with Mel wholeheartedly. And I really think people should really not give this show too much more hype. The less hype this show gets, the less people will keep tuning in. And that is when this lost and tragic giving Snoozeville cast, eventually they're going to have to make a choice and actually pull the plug. But as long as people are given a shine and recognition, the show is going to survive. I won't say the show is thriving. I would say the show is surviving. And I would say this: the reason why this show, the cast is continuing to go with the show, because let's just be honest, all of them are broke. They don't have no money. They have no funds. And we know Fire Marshal Martell, Mr. Markdown Martell, we know he don't have no money. Okay, so he's fighting for his life, you know what I mean, to hold on to this show. And I think a sick part of him feels like, because this show originally was Mel's idea, it's a part of him where he gets a sick thrill out of still being a part of something that she gracefully walked away from. But I would say this: I'm still so happy that Melody left, because when I tell you, that chick has been thriving like no other. She really has been. Her business is doing well. I just brought her tote bag, child. I call hell trying to get her tote bag in black, because she had a black and a pink one. And I would say that black one, once I got the notification from her email that it had stocked up, girl, I went and got my bag. And and I would say this Mel is always hooking up her peoples with coupons, discounts, and she understands the struggle we are up against out here. So listen, I've definitely been investing into Mel's products, into her business, because I want to see her thrive. But let's get on to the real deal, because we know y'all are curious about this lost and tragic giving Snoozeville. So I had watched this episode, right? God give me the strength to watch the next episode. Again, I don't watch it through OWN. I watch it through YouTube, because I do not want to give OWN any view or any views or anything like that. So this is my opinion, just based off of this one episode that I did see, y'all. It's giving cold pizza. Okay, it's kind of like, when you go and buy a fresh pizza at first, the slices are hot, cheesy, you know, and it's tasty, you know, at first, okay? And I would say this when Mel played a part in it, okay? Now that they have continued to revamp this show without Melody's presence, it's like warming up that same slice of pizza. It's like, it's tasteless. There's no flavor. It's just time to put it in the trash. It seems like they keep trying to microwave the show through each episode. And it's like every time they air an episode, it's like they're reheating the same slice of goddamn pizza, and I am over it. It's like leftovers. It comes a point, I don't care how much you keep reheating something, you got to throw it in the trash. The flavor is gone, the texture is gone. It's done for. They're reheating a show that is done for. And I want them to go ahead and pull the goddamn plug. It's not giving me anything. Everything is just a lot of fillers. So just to give y'all a scenario on what's been going on for those of you who don't watch the show, because the thing is, a lot of people said they wasn't going to watch it, but they are watching it. Okay, and the truth is, a lot of people are not going to view your content unless you're talking about Lost and Tragic giving Snoozeville. Because when I talk about other things, my channel is not popping. But as soon as I put Love and Lost and Tragic in Hellsville, everybody is viewing. Everybody's commenting. So at the end of the day, I got to give the people what they want, even though I don't have no interest in it. I have to give the people what they want, right? So, Lost and Tragic used to be that show, messy, dramatic, but real. But ever since Melody, you know, walked away, it feels like the soul of the show went with her. And that's just the God's honest truth. The storylines are tired, flat, and are going nowhere. It's like spinning wheels, you know. It's just keep getting bogged down, but there's no movement. There's no other destination. So the first scene of season 10, episode 5, because I didn't even watch the first 4. But since everybody still has interest in this cold pizza, you know, show, I said, okay, let me just go ahead and just jump in and see what's kind of going on. So the first scene, it shows Nell and Chris, you know, basically, you know, talking about, or I believe his name, is it Lance? Chris or Lance? I don't watch this cold pizza show, so correct me. I guess Nell's son or whatever the case is, right? I believe his name is Lance or whatever the case is. It just starts off with her talking to him about assisting him with the baby, and basically her stating that she can at least stay 2 nights out the week at Lance's place so it can help him out with the baby, since the baby's not comfortable. The baby's gotten attached to him and would not want to leave the environment, so to make it comfortable for the baby, she'll be willing to accommodate and come over there, which Lance felt like, you know, how is Mr. Fletcher going to feel about that or whatever, you being over here instead of being home, you know what I mean? Even though just 2 days out the week you are married. So, I mean, they're talking about that, and they were talking about Destiny, when him and Destiny was dating, and how Destiny felt like, you know, he wasn't being straightforward about the situation with the baby. And I'm like, y'all, I'm like, there's no interest. I really don't care about Lance and his baby mama drama. I really don't care about Nell having to offering her babysitting assistance. I'm like, is this worth my life right now? Is this worth like the agony? I mean, please make me a dentist appointment and let me get a root canal. There's more excitement in that than these forced storylines that is really what's called content fillers. It's anything that they're just doing. Listen, they're just throwing anything at the wall, hoping it would stick, y'all. I was just so like bored out of my mind, and I'm like, I just don't see what's the point of all of this. You know, she's crafting a plan to assist Lance with baby care, whether Chris agrees or not. And I'm like, I don't care. Why is this even a scene? Why is this even part of the show? I'm like, who cares? I would rather see a scene of somebody getting a sandwich from Subway and ordering a 12-inch Italian sub with extra, Parmesan or oregano or something. I got tired. I'm so tired. I can't take it. So that was the first scene. Absolutely nothing. Okay. I guess the producers and Carlos, they are just putting anything on the buffet and adding anything to the buffet and hoping somebody eat it. Hoping somebody will like it. Right. After that scene, because I'm not going to go into this too much, right? Destiny is caught in the middle, refusing to take sides between the Scotts and Martell. I don't know why people are trying to make Destiny pick and choose when it comes to Martell. As far as I'm concerned, hell, Destiny is Martell's side chick too. She's always been by his side. She's always been ride or die. And, you know, now that Mel is not there, they have full access now to come together and create all of these storylines that are not really lining. Or should I say story lies? Because there's a lot of lies being put in the story because, Carlos King pretty much allows them to do what they want to do. They pick and choose what they want to discuss. They're all allowed to lie. They're allowed to fabricate. They don't have to really bring forth their truth or their transparency on anything. Destiny is not picking and choosing because, like she said to Kimmy and Tisha, hey, had it not been for Martell, I wouldn't even met you guys, which is kind of true in a sense. But you can tell, y'all, this show is fishing badly. They are trying so hard to make this show relevant, to resuscitate it. And it's just so draining to the spirit. Like, it's just nothing to even really discuss. But you have so many content creators that are going in, giving this show light. You know what I mean? And it's what the viewers want to know. The subscribers want to know what is going on. And I'm letting y'all know not a goddamn thing, okay? Trish stuff, another thing is, like I said, I already mentioned that about Destiny. Of course, the situation with, what else is going on? Because I'm just trying to recall everything that I saw. Nevertheless, the other episode in which you have Kimmy and Marcel talking about their problems, which really was mediocre. Nothing was interesting about that other than, they call themselves making plans on starting some businesses. The conversation was just so mediocre, y'all. I can't even tell y'all really what the hell they was discussing because it just did not have nothing valuable, nothing interesting. The conversation was very basic. Hell, they could have had that conversation at a library and there, I mean, it just wasn't worth putting in the putting in the episode, y'all, is really sad. You know, how hard they are fishing to put in these lines. Tisha and Nell, of course, they meet up, they talk. Nell pretty much tells Tisha she didn't like the way Tisha came for her husband. And Tisha, of course, being the queen of deflecting and not never having to own her wrongdoing in anything, she automatically gets offensive and basically makes the decision to leave and walk away when she gets called out. That is Tisha's usual reaction to everything. If the heat gets too much, I walk off, I leave. And it's amazing that she's allowed to do that. In a lot of reality shows, from my understanding, you are contracted to deal with the conversation. That's what makes the show a show. Because if that's the case, a show is not a show if every time there's conflict or disagreement, one of the cast members could keep walking away. There's really not a show. Yet Tisha has been allowed to do that the majority of every season, even when Mel was there. She's allowed to get up, grab her purse and her chipmunk cheeks and walk off and leave. Okay, so ironically, Tisha does not want nobody disrespecting Marceau. She wants nobody talking about Marceau, but Tisha is just like her mother. She's allowed to disrespect people as much as she wants to, but they got to honor and respect her 100%. That's another reason why I don't care for Tisha. Tisha wants to be the one to call all the shots, and I hate the fact that the show allows her to do that. One thing about it, when Mel was there, Mel took a lot of punches. She tolerated being disrespected. She very rarely ever walked off from any of her scenes unless Martell was doing too much. But for the most part, Melody played her position, you know, and ultimately that's why they felt so comfortable ganging up on her, because Melody was never one to just walk away when it got heated. She would stand on business, something that they don't have the courage and the balls to do. Okay, so seeing this fiasco play out, it just really shows how this show is really struggling on life support. You know, and the fact that now Melody is not there, they have to create forced drama. You know, now they've been coming for Nell pretty strong. Me personally, I feel like Nell is an older woman. She doesn't belong on that show personally. You know, she is just nowhere on their level as far as age and experience wise. And the fact that Tisha wants everybody to respect her mother, who has the food truck, or had the food truck that has failed multiple food inspections, but yet she feels so entitled to talk to women older than her in such a disrespectful manner. But see, this is the chance you take when you're an older woman and you go on a show with women younger than you. They tend to think that they are on your level and they can disrespect you. Me personally, I'm 46 years old. I handle women older than me much differently. Even if there's conflict or drama, even if they're disrespecting me, I don't cuss them out. I don't handle them the way I would women my age. That's just the way I was raised, my morals, my mindset. Once an older woman gets out of pocket with me, you know, I just, okay, ma'am, you got it, and I walk off. I'm not one to go toe to toe. The thing is, Tisha and Kimmy have always been able to get over and get by, with not having to really be too transparent about their issues. They have the luxury of selective sharing, thanks to Carlos, and the fact that they are family. You know, you have to realize when you're on a show with family gonna stick together. Tisha and Kimmy has teamed up on any and everybody on that show. How the producers allow that to happen, I don't get it. When Kimmy first started out, she was very mutual. I guess behind closed doors, Wanda and all of them was getting to her so bad that she couldn't take being mutual. So she had to start siding with them to keep the peace. And maybe her own husband Maurice was bitching at her about it, like, this our family. You if you're a part of me, you know, you got to roll with me, because Kimmy has totally changed. And the truth is, a lot of these reality shows, they will change you. And that's why I'm glad Melody made the decision to leave when she left, because the only way she would have been able to survive that show, she would have had to been just as evil as they are, just as petty as they are, just as low down as they are. That's the only way you're going to be able to survive on that show. They have allowed Tisha, Kimmy, and Marceau and Maurice to pretty much get away with everything on this show. Tisha's, like I said, she's allowed to get up and walk away. She does not have to explain herself, yet she expects everybody else to. How Tisha has the balls to get up in Mr. Fletcher's face, but she don't have that same energy for her husband Marceau, who has disrespected multiple times. That's thanks to the producers. The producers allow her to do that. Now, like I said, what's going on is they have to keep the drama rolling. So to keep the views resuscitated, they have to create this forced drama with each other. The stuff that they be arguing and bickering about, it's not exciting. It's giving microwavable leftovers. You're saying the same thing, you're just saying it in a different way. How much is this? Why are you coming for my marriage? Isn't it called Love and Marriage in Huntsville? Nobody is really talking about their marriage. Nobody's not being transparent about anything. The only one that was ever really transparent was Melody. And Martell in his own narcissistic manner. Not to mention, the show, they have become comfortable with bringing up Ariane Air Mattress name. Okay? Now they're starting to do that. They didn't do that before. And I guess what's going on is Lost and Tragic in Snoozeville, they're trying to pull out any breaks they can. Anything. Anything to try to, you know, stimulate the audience. And will the audience and will the views back in. And it's not going to happen. The show is just not fitting. It is not living up to the original narrative that it was supposed to be promoting. Love and marriage, okay? Nobody's really discussing their marriages. And if they are talking about their marriages, they're discussing things that are very mediocre. They are mentioning things that are irrelevant. I mean, okay, yeah, congrats, Kimmy, your son got this job promotion. I'm like, the storylines are so dry. I mean, next, are y'all going to do a scene where we follow y'all to the grocery store and watch y'all pick up the ingredients for chicken 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 as a content filler? What other agony must we sit through to keep this show resuscitated? You know, it's kind of like, you know, it's given, the show needs CPR. They keep trying to compress and bring life. And the show is just so dead. How do y'all stand it? How y'all got this far to 5 episodes? Like I said, I didn't even watch the first 4. I'm just playing catch up in the one that I see. There's nothing interesting. We seen Destiny and Martell in one episode go to a furniture store. Straight content filler. Why? Y'all can't afford to pick scenes that's going to actually cost money, so we're going into Goodwill. We're going into the thrift shop. I guess next, will we be going in Walmart? Will we be going in Walgreens? Will we be going in Chick-fil-A? Listen, please hit the like button, y'all. I'm just getting bored talking about this. I mean, I'm going to try to get through another episode or two, but this is giving, is giving hospice, is dying, is literally on its last legs. We need to start making funeral arrangements to this show. This show needs the plug pulled. I'm tired of seeing Ken and Trish. I'm tired of him bitching about, you know, his issues with Trish, acting like she wasn't already married when he was dealing with her. It's just, oh my gosh, it's just regurgitating the same points. It's like somebody throwing up and licking up their own vomit. You know, it's just becoming repetitive at this point. I don't know, what do y'all think? Why do y'all think people even still have interest in Lost and Tragic given Snoozeville? Please let me know below. Definitely hit the like button, y'all. Let me know, why do you think people are still interested in this show? Is it because they're hoping, like, once the cast members bump heads, it'll be new drama that's going to unfold? I don't really see what's new going to become of this. Other than it's going to be some he say, she say, you talking about my husband, you talking about my marriage, you was told, we talking about NDAs where you can't discuss certain things. Destiny keeps talking about a business that never was a business and is not going to be a business. Madani is not happening. It's not going anywhere. I don't know what she's talking about her products. Everything is just straight content filler, y'all. There's no real storyline, there's no real juice, there's no real tea. There is nothing going on. How can y'all sit through this? Another episode. Nevertheless though, Melody is doing really well. Her business is thriving while the show is barely surviving. To me, the show is struggling because there's forced dramas. Producers are trying to manufacture tension, but it's just not there. You know, it's not hitting on anything. No one on the show has Melody's charisma, quick wit, or ability to carry a scene. And I noticed ever since Melody's been gone, Tisha has gotten this newfound confidence now, where she's saying all kind of stuff and getting more and more bolder. Things she was not doing. You know, it's like, okay, the threat is gone. Now I can make the show more about me and my wonderful husband and my wonderful marriage. That's what I'm getting from Tisha. It's the same arguments, same recycled beefs, just different people. How are y'all sitting through this? Content creators, how are y'all able to speak on every episode and not get bored? Let me ask your viewers, do y'all even care about these new storylines, or are y'all just hanging on hoping the old spark comes back? Be real. Well, why are y'all watching it, if any watching? If you're not watching it, why are y'all listening to content creators talk about it? Huntsville has turned into a show of side characters without a lead. Melody was the heartbeat. Without her, it's just background noise. OWN might need to figure out how to revive this, or, you know, everyone is going to be watching a slow fade of what used to be one of reality TV's most addictive shows. They need to name it Love and Marriage Huntsville, the boring era after Melody. Or name it Why Love and Marriage Huntsville Died After Melody Left. From messy to sleepy, Huntsville without Melody is just so goddamn boring. I can't take it no more, y'all. I'm not even going to discuss this no more. However, I am going to come back with some life lesson topics. We're going to do some side chick chronicles. We got other stuff coming up, y'all. I'm not going to be able to keep doing this Lost and Tragic giving Snoozeville with y'all. Anyway, y'all, hit that like button before you leave. Let me know what y'all think about this show. Where do y'all think is going to end from here? Do y'all think they even have another season after this, y'all? Let me know what's going on. Also, the latest is Martell is still getting away with being disobedient to court orders. The judges is not holding Martell accountable. And like I said, I think Caramel Rell was talking about it, and I did post in her comment that the judge that's presiding over the case, they need to request a different judge. Somebody else was like, no, she needs to get a better lawyer. I'm like, what good is a better lawyer if the judge who makes the final decision is the one who is making this, who is calling the shots on this, right? So to me personally, these little country bumpkin towns, from what I heard, allegedly, Martell used to be affiliated within the court systems there. I heard he was a jailer. I don't know how true it was, if he was a correctional officer. He had some type of alliance, whether past or current, with that court. And it has to be because it makes no sense. This man has displayed over and over and over, he has no respect and no regards for the law. And the fact that they make Melody honor everything. Melody can't even post her own children on the internet. But yet Martell cannot. He can dodge doing an evaluation. He can dodge court orders. He makes the rules as he goes, and there's no consequences for it. And it's very gut-wrenching. It's very frustrating. He's another one that is trying to revive his part on the show. He's bringing up Ariane air mattress, things like moving in. The information he's sharing is very mediocre. And I believe he's doing that for several reasons. For one, he feels like because Melody is not on the show, that is his way of kind of antagonizing her. Now that you're not on the show, I can bring up Ariane, the appetizer. Not only that, he needs a storyline. If he doesn't have Ariane air mattress to talk about, what can he contribute to the show? He has to contribute that because there's absolutely nothing for him to talk about. Nevertheless, I know he's not satisfied because if he really had it his way, Ariane air mattress would be on that show. That is really what he wants, because he wants he knows he needs a new storyline. For two, he also wants Ariane to also profit and make money. And three, he wants to give her that recognition that she's crying about, that she wants behind closed doors. That'd be his way of dodging not marrying her. Well, as long as I treat her, or as long as I give her the things Melody had, that will offset or compensate for the fact I won't marry her. If I at least can get her on the show and we pretend we are husband and wife, we just kind of live together, and they film scenes with me and her. He really wants to bring Ariane in off of those merits. Or it could be one of those things he may not want to bring her in either, because you got Martell is like this. Martell wants to be the only one to have all eyes on him. You can't really predict him. Every time you think you know Martell, we realize we don't. So it could be one of those things as well, like, he may not want her there because a part of him, even if it's 2%, he may feel like that's really, really, really escalating it to a point of making Mel resent him even more. Or he may get to the point where he wants to do just that, and maybe behind closed doors he is trying to talk them into allowing Ariane to come back for that reason. You got to realize Martell is very malicious. He's a narcissist, so we cannot underestimate him, and you never know which tricks he got up his sleeve. But what I do know, I'm sure all of us can agree, that Ariane is really not happy. She really wants that spotlight with him. She wants to get on that show, and we know the way the snakes are. They would not mind if Ariane came back. They would film with her. I'm sure Tisha would. I'm sure Kimmy would, not realizing that this female has disrespected y'all too. she has put it out there that y'all husbands are cheaters. But y'all, as much as y'all also concerned about y'all marriage when it comes to everybody else, yet y'all will affiliate with the enemy just to try to hurt Mel, even though she has talked about y'all husbands. She has talked about y'all marriages. It's the hypocrisy for me. Nevertheless, I don't see the show going anywhere good. It's not going anywhere good. I don't think it's going to bring none of them to the next level. Not the level of where Melody is. I don't think they're really going to benefit from it. Other than people are just seeing a continuation of life without Mel on the show. Other than that, it's not giving anything. Y'all leave y'all comment below. Let me know what y'all think. I am going to go ahead and shut it down. It's your girl, your diva knowledge lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. And I will talk to y'all soon. Please hit that like button before you exit. If you have not subscribed already, please be sure that you do so. Have a good day, everyone. Be blessed.